screwed around with stuff for 15 years before getting here. I so enjoy the design part of the process and not so much the being a factory and building 50 of the same thing over and over again, that a lot of my joy has been making one-off stuff for maybe for one-off people or for myself or whatever. So it's like there's so many fun designs, and picking just one to like actually follow through with is a whole thing in of itself. Console Fuzz came about because I was actually building a mic pre, and like this is kind of an offshoot of getting to that point. I really just was starting with something super clean, and I love shopping parts. So of course, late at night, I'm looking at parts on the internet, and I'm looking at these IC chips that this particular one says the way that it translates electricity to audio is through gas and a pickup. And I'm like, well, gas, that's a lot like a tube, and I've not really seen that before. Let's try that. And really, it's all sake of experimentation. I just thought it sounded cool. Let's get a few. And of course, the first thing that I do when I get it is, well, let's see what it sounds like to just ram one side into the next side. You know, use it totally how it's not designed to be used, because that's how you get distortion. And I mean, even with no controls, it was cool. Just like output almost straight to input. It's just like, this is something I haven't actually heard before. And we have a million IC chip fuzzes. I mean, like, you can't, you know, deny loving 100 different fuzz pedals that you already know and love that are IC chip. I mean, the console part of Console Fuzz was like, I bought this to make mic pre's. It's not, you know, the Neve knobs are kitschy. It's not a Neve preamp design by any means. It's a amplifier that was made to be clean, that I'm setting it up like it's not supposed to be used and voicing it for guitar, but the root was in a mic pre. We're far from that. There's almost a little bit of this harmonic hump that it gives. Anything that you're playing that's more rich in harmonics, this just like boosts the crap out of that. An actual harmonic on the guitar, a pinch, slide can be extremely harmonic because you've got a lot more open string in a lot of sections. Stuff like that, it's not nasally, but it boosts that upper thing that I feel like makes it extremely musical, because it's happening more on some notes and less on other notes. Just whichever notes are already harmonically rich, it's just kind of boosting that. And because of that, I mean, I like using it tone up, you know, kind of 5150, your 80s kind of distortion. But because it goes square wave, I call it a fuzz. But a lot of my like more hip customers that like the first thing they do is roll their tone down. There's a certain harmonic notch to that already, because when you roll your tone down, you've got a cutoff point on your tone. It's like, okay, here's where our tone starts. And so it already kind of has that little bit of nasal thing to it. And this accentuates that. I feel like some of these new, cooler players that are rolling their tone down or playing slide or getting weirder, hipper tones, like this is magic in their hands because it's accentuating this kind of new, cool thing that they're doing already. I'm using it as a distortion. I think a lot of other people are just turning the gain past noon and using it as a fuzz, and it covers both territories, but I really don't want it to be missed that it should be called console distortion and fuzz.